The brand new comic titled Legacy of Vader follows the grandson of Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, during the events between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, which is a time period that is relatively unexplored as of yet. In the first issue, we see Kylo Ren go to the planet Mustafar, where Darth Vader had lost to Obi-Wan Kenobi and also where he had built his castle. Kylo starts a new journey as he follows in the footsteps of his grandfather Vader. Let's get right into it. Shortly after the Battle of Crate, Kylo Ren was aboard the First Order flagship Finalizer as stormtroopers chanted in unison, "Long live the Supreme Leader." As Kylo walked up the cold gray stairs, General Hux asked if Kylo wished for him to introduce him. Kylo declined and claimed he would do it himself, as he used the Force to open the lids of two crates that laid in front of him. The lifeless corpse of Snoke rose in the air above the stormtroopers' view. "See what your enemies have done. Snoke is dead. The Resistance killed him. I am Kylo Ren, your Supreme Leader," Kylo said. Ren claimed that this was the end and the beginning, promising the First Order army that he would bring them to glory. For a moment, all of the gleaming white stormtroopers paused and looked around at each other before all saluting in support of their new Supreme Leader, Kylo Ren. Later, Kylo was haunted by memories of his past. He vividly remembers the Force projection of Luke on Crate and his connection with Rey as she stood aboard the Millennium Falcon. He still remembers the sound of the unstable lightsaber as he thrust it into Han Solo on Starkiller Base. Kylo Ren will never forget the face of his mother Leia, or even the disformed figure of his former master Snoke. He tells himself to let the past go, the same exact thing he said to Rey after he had killed Snoke. "Kill it, you whining baby," he snarled. In a fit of rage, Kylo ignited his lightsaber and swung it through the air. As he looked down at the sparks flying off his saber, he requested the presence of General Hux. As Hux reports to Ren, Kylo informs him that he is a trusted advisor to the First Order as well as himself. As General Hux inquires about how he could help assist Ren, the Supreme Leader responds by saying that Snoke had told him many things about his future plans, but never crossed the line of discussing military matters. Kylo then proceeded to ask Hux what plans for the First Order did Snoke share with him. General Hux then brought up the fact that Snoke was dead, and told Ren that he could control the galaxy with the largest military. Hux even stated that with Kylo as the Supreme Leader, he could fulfill the dreams of their forebears and truly rebuild the Empire to its former glory. Kylo stood silent for a moment before taking a step closer to Hux. Ren states that his forebears, such as the infamous Sith Lord Darth Vader, shaped the galaxy, whereas Hux's bloodline produced mere lieutenants and lickspittles. After threatening Hux to never again mention the Skywalker family in the same breath as Hux's, Kylo asked about the state of resources that the First Order was in possession of. Hux replied saying that they possessed a fleet of Star Destroyers, as well as support vehicles, fighter crafts, and land vehicles. In addition, the First Order had many battalions of stormtroopers ready to assist Kylo in any way possible. Hux then assured Kylo that the First Order was well provisioned with supplies and treasure, and had arrangements in place to buy whatever they needed when the time came. Hux also added that if there was one thing the First Order truly needed, it was more ships. The destruction of Starkiller Base left the First Order without a shipyard, and the battle near Crate had cost them the supremacy, as well as a large portion of their fleet. Once General Hux had finished with the inventory, he began thinking about organizing a strike force to engage local forces throughout the galaxy. He was still talking about his tactics until Kylo started talking. "Hux, have I given you my order to do those things?" he said sternly. Hux told Kylo no, and stopped talking, awaiting Ren's next word. Kylo Ren then ordered Hux to build him a throne. Believing it to be a simple task, Hux asked what sort of throne Kylo would prefer. Kylo tells Hux that he can choose, and that he should put all of his efforts toward finishing this task. Before Ren walks out of the Grey Room, he cautions Hux to get it right the first time. Once the Supreme Leader had completely left the space, Hux firmly gripped his fist in frustration. In Kylo's personal quarters, he begins talking to the burnt and melted helmet of his grandfather Vader, saying that he ruled over weaklings for decades. Seeking purpose, Kylo asked, "How could this have been enough for Vader? I thought I wanted to follow your path. You were the one I thought I understood. I thought I was your legacy, but I'm not you," Kylo said, with a determined look in his eyes. "I'm not Vader. I'm not my mother. I'm not Han Solo. I'm not any of them," Kylo continued. He remembered that he had told Rey to let the past die, but then questioned why is he not free if he has done that, if he truly let the past die. Staring down at the helmet, Kylo believes that he is not free because he is not done yet. There is still more to do. More has to die. As Kylo lifted Darth Vader's helmet into the air, he looks at it and says he will start with him. Inside his sleek TIE silencer prototype, Kylo travels to the planet Mustafar, a place of great significance to Darth Vader himself. As Kylo exits his starfighter, he spots Vader's castle out in the distance. While Ren walks up the winding stairs, a strange figure watches in the distance. Out of nowhere, locals attack and shoot an arrow directly at Kylo's head before it is stopped in its tracks just before making contact with his eye. As Kylo drops the arrow to the ground, he ignites his lightsaber and mocks the locals, calling them cowards. Ren begins walking up the stairs, slaying anyone in his line of vision. As Kylo slices straight through the torso of a local, he states that he is Kylo Ren and that his ascent and his reign has just begun. Still in the dark, the curious figure watches as Kylo ruthlessly slaughters the far outmatched locals. One of the fighters manages to pierce Kylo's side before Kylo lifts him up in the air and twists his neck. As Ren approached the entrance, he touched his wound and blood dropped onto the ground, and surprisingly, the gigantic door before him creaks open. As Kylo enters the castle, a voice welcomes him and says that this is a day long awaited. Quickly igniting his unstable crimson saber, Kylo asks the voice to show themselves. Out of the darkness, a droid-like monstrosity slowly walks toward Kylo, with a human head attached at the front. It introduces itself as Vaneé. Vaneé asks Kylo for his name and what connection does he have to the great Darth Vader. "My name is Kylo Ren. Vader was my grandfather," the Supreme Leader stated. "What is your connection to him?" Vaneé reveals that he had served Vader for many years, up until his untimely murder, and promises to serve Kylo as well, if he would have him. Ren then points the blade straight at Vaneé, with the lightsaber only inches from his face. Vaneé asks Kylo, why does he wish to kill him? "You are the past. This entire place is the past," Kylo said. "The past strangles me. Its expectations and legacies and vendettas. I will destroy every last part of it. I will free myself," Kylo continued. Vaneé began to smile at the young man, and even called him a foolish, ignorant child. Then Vaneé projected a hologram of Darth Vader himself, and Vaneé claimed that Vader's power was his past. He told Kylo that Vader never allowed himself to forget his past. His loss and his rage became his fuel. That is why the dark side ran so strongly through him, with the lightsaber still flickering in front of the spear that surrounded his head. Vaneé told Kylo that he could show him how Vader did it. Kylo then deactivated his lightsaber as he stared at the menacing holographic figure of Darth Vader. Kylo then agreed and asked Vaneé to show him how Darth Vader became so powerful in the dark side of the Force. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, please like and subscribe. And remember, the Force will be with you, always.